Good morning, students. Actually, today we will introduce you about some glass apparatus of chemistry lab which you need to use during your experimental section. Actually, the idea was given by our respected professor Dr. Saurav Acharya. We had a conversation about experimental section, that how to do our experimental section properly during online classes. So he told us that Tapas, please make one video of glass apparatus so that they can understand that how they will need to use burette, pipette, conical, etc. Okay, so we will start our video with the most common glass apparatus. Look at this. This is beaker. This is beaker, and the capacity of the beaker is 1000 ml. Sorry, hopefully it is written wrong. The capacity of the beaker is actually 500 ml, and the meniscus written over here 100, 200, 300, 400 ml. But mind it, this is not calibrated instrument. I mean to say that if you take 100 ml water, if you take 100 ml water inside the beaker by maintaining the meniscus level, okay, it may contain 99 ml or it may contain 101 or 2 ml. That means roughly it is 100 ml but not exactly 100 ml. So beaker is not calibrated instrument, and we have choice of different size of the beaker. This is 500 ml beaker, this is 250 ml beaker, or maybe during experimental section we need to use 100 ml beaker, or something maybe less than that, 50 ml beaker. We also have 1000 ml beaker. Okay, so this is beaker. We need to use this glass instrument during our experimental session to keep any solution. Okay, now let us instrument number 2. This is conical flask. Here also it contain a particular volume. This is of 250 ml conical flask which is written over the glass apparatus, and this is 500 ml conical flask. Look at the meniscus. Here meniscus is completely written 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay, now if you pour solution up to this meniscus, that actually means you have 250 ml water, 250 ml solution, or whatever it may be. Okay, mind it, this is also not a calibrated instrument. If you take 250 ml or 200 ml solution, that actually means it is not containing exactly 200 ml. It may be 198 or it may be 202 or 203 ml. So this is also not a calibrated instrument, but we need to use this instrument particularly during titration process. In chemistry lab, we need to go for titration process several times for different experiment. So for that, this particular instrument is very vital. We need to take that solution in conical and then we need to go for the titration process. Okay. Now let us come to our hard instrument, which is hopefully during my first lab class I have shown you some images I have collected from internet, images of beaker, conical, glass, measuring cylinder, volumetric flask, pipette, burette. But it will be more better if you just understand the live instrumental session. Okay, so now this is measuring cylinder. This is an calibrated instrument, and this measuring cylinder actually is of 100 ml capacity. Okay, that means if you take 100 ml water or solution, it will be exactly 100 ml. Okay, now take a closer look of this instrument. Here you can see that clearly the meniscus is percolated over the instrument 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 up to 100, and up to 10 it will be divided into 10 smaller meniscus. That means you can take 1 ml, you can take 6 ml, you can take 8 ml, or you can take 82 ml, you can take 75 ml, whatever. Up to 100 you can take each and every volume of solution up to 100, because let us say we need to take 50 ml water. So you start fill upping this measuring cylinder, and once it is up to 50, then stop. That means your volume of solution is exactly 50. Okay, now we will also have the choices of this measuring cylinder. It is 100 ml measuring cylinder, this 50 ml measuring cylinder, this is 25 ml measuring cylinder. Okay, we need to take exact amount of solution through this measuring cylinder. Okay, we need to take exact amount of solution through this measuring cylinder. Okay, next this is very common instrument, all of us know, because domestically you also use this instrument. This is funnel. Okay, actually when you need to pour any solution from one glass apparatus to another glass apparatus, there may be a chance of spilling, হয়তো হতে পারে যে সলিউশন কিছুটা ছিটকে পড়ে গেল. So to avoid that spilling chances, we have to use this instrument. Like you need to pour some water inside conical flask, so use this like this. Okay, so this is also one vital instrument, funnel, when we will prepare solutions of different compound in chemistry lab of different concentration. We need to take a particular weight of that component and we need to add some amount of water, but during addition of water we have to use this instrument to just to avoid the spilling of the solution. Okay, now let us come to this instrument. This is pipette. Okay, this is pipette. Here also we have different capacity of pipette. It is 10 ml pipette. Okay, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that means if you need to take solution or you need to drag solution through this pipette, if you drag solution up to 0, then your solution volume will be exactly 10. If you drag solution up to 5, then your solution volume is exactly 5. Okay, so we need to drag any amount or any volume of liquid through this pipette, or after fill upping this pipette we can release any volume of solution to the another glass apparatus. So let us have a closer look. Let us say this is potassium dichromate solution and we need to pipette out this solution 10 ml. Okay, so just go through the process. You dip this pipette. Initially you need to wash all glass apparatus during experimental session. So first you wash this glass apparatus and then you dip this pipette so that the lower portion is completely dipped in the solution. Okay, look at this. Now we will drag liquid to this pipette. Dragging will be like this. Your eye will be here, so that you must be careful that you are not dragging up to this level or up to this level. You need to drag a little bit higher level from 0. Look here, I am dragging. You can see the clear picture. Stop. Now we lock the upper portion of the pipette. Okay, so here it is 0 meniscus. We drag the liquid a little bit upper from 0 and then start adjusting up to 0. How? You just release your fingers and just move it clockwise, anti-clockwise, move it clockwise, anti-clockwise. Solution volume will be adjusted exactly at 0. Look here, solution volume is adjusted exactly at 0. Now if you take this solution inside any glass apparatus, your solution volume will be 10 ml, because this is the pipette of 10 ml capacity. Now look here, you may find the difficulty to take the last portion of solution from pipette. Okay, for that you need to lock this upper portion with your thumb. Okay, and you just rub a little bit from upper portion to lower portion. Just rub your pipette. Now look here, there is no liquid left at the tip of the pipette. Okay, so this is the way to take the last portion of liquid from pipette. Just lock it and then rub this pipette through your another hand. Okay, so that some amount of heat energy will be generated inside the pipette. Okay, and the air inside the pipette will be heated and it will create some extra pressure to let it drop the excess liquid to the glass container. Okay, so this is a way to pipette out any solution from a particular volume capacity of pipette, like it may be 10 ml, it may be 5 ml, it may be 25 ml, whatever. So we can take any solution through this pipette and the volume will be particulate. That means if you take 10 ml, then the volume will be exactly 10. If you take 5 ml, then volume will be exactly 5. Okay. So now coming to the another instrument, this is burette. You mind it, conical, pipette, burette, these are the very important instrument of the titration process. Without these three instruments, titration process can't be completed. Okay, so this is burette. This is also one volume measuring instrument. Here take a closer look. Take a closer look of this instrument. Here this is burette. Here it contains one stopcock. You release this stopcock, burette will release the solution from burette will release the solution to another container. So you lock this stopcock, okay, so that no solution will be released during fill-upping of solution. Okay, so here it is percolated 0 to 50. Okay, that actually means you can take or you can release 0 to 50 ml volume of solution from burette. Okay, normally during titration we need to release this stopcock so that we will release dropwise solution during titration process. Okay, so take it again closer look, 0 to 50. Okay, now let us start fill upping burette. How to fill burette with any solution? Okay, first initially wash burette with water. Okay, now lock this stopcock and you fill the burette with potassium dichromate solution. Okay, at the top of the burette it is percolated as 0. Okay, take the solution a little bit higher than 0. Okay, now look here, initially when the volume is being adjusted, then you release this stopcock, stop, then release, stop. This is why this portion contains air gap. We need to release the air gap. Okay, now there is no air gap. You just lock this stopcock. Here take a again closer look. It's little bit higher from 0. We need to adjust the volume up to 0. For that, very cautiously release the stopcock. Stop. Now look here. Here the volume is exactly 0. Okay. Now if you release this liquid from 0 to 1, that means what is the volume of the liquid being released? 1 ml. If you release 1 to 2, then volume of the liquid will be 2 ml. If you release 0 to 50, then volume of the liquid released will be 50. But mind it, 50 means up to this. This portion, this particular portion contain liquid, but you can't adjust during the volume calculation. That means once if you take 50 ml of this liquid from burette, that means you need to release up to this meniscus. Okay, this portion will remain intact inside the burette. You need to release up to this portion. Okay. Now how to fix this burette inside in stand. This is burette stand. Okay. We just lock this part of the stand, then fix burette and release. Okay. Now you fix the burette to a adjustable position. Take one conical already contains some amount of solution. During titration, conical must have one solution, where you need to mix this solution with the solution present in conical. Okay, so now how to hold burette during titration process. Look here, this is my left hand. You need to hold burette with left hand. Okay, this finger and this finger. Again, this and this, so that you can release solution. Take a closer look. You can release solution dropwise. Okay, I am releasing slowly with my 3 fingers, and once you need to lock, then lock it. Again, release dropwise and lock. Again, release dropwise and lock. So this is the way to use burette during the titration process. Now we have released some amount of liquid. Now my question is, what is the volume of the liquid I have released till now? You check the reading here. Look here. I have released some amount of liquid. The meniscus come downwards. It was initially 0 and now it is exactly at 1. So I have released 1 ml of liquid. Okay, I have released 1 ml of liquid. Let us say I have released some amount of liquid, and again we are checking. The meniscus is exactly at 2. That means I have released again 1 ml of liquid. Let us release a particular volume. Now check. The meniscus is between 4 and 5. And if you take a closer look to the submeniscus, it is exactly in 4.4. So what is the volume I have released? It will be 4.4 ml. So that is the way to take burette reading after titration process. Initially you need to fill the air gap of the burette during fill up of solution inside the burette, and you need to fix the burette in a burette stand, make the adjustable volume before titration process, and you need to hold the burette like this so that you can release lock. Okay, after completion of process you can lock the burette and take the reading from the meniscus. Okay, so this is the way how to use burette. Okay, so I am releasing the excess solution from burette. Okay, once you have completed your experiment, you need to release the excess solution in our reagent table. So during that release of solution, you need to follow this process. Okay, then wash burette for further use. Okay, now look here. I have already shown you this instrument. Look here, take a closer look. This is mortar. Mortar means if you have a bigger grains of compound, you need to paste that grain so that it will be converted into smaller grain or homogeneous grain. Okay, like you can take oxalic acid, you can take potassium dichromate, you can take sand, and you paste it so that it will be converted into a very smaller grain. Okay, now look at this instrument. This is watch glass. Okay, watch glass means it contains a flat and high surface area. If you need to evaporate something, any liquid, then take it over watch glass and then let it be in the air. It will automatically evaporate it, although it will take some time. Or you can keep that watch glass inside any heat chamber also, so that evaporation will be more faster. Okay, now we have, look at this container. I am doing another container. This is reagent bottle, this is also reagent bottle, but look at the difference. This is the cap where it is not completely air locked. This is the cap where it is not completely air locked. But particularly for this bottle, if you release the cap, this is aerially locked. Okay, there will be no connection from outside and no air will be go outside from the container. So this is air locked container, and this particular tip is not the air locked. Okay, particularly this instrument is used to calculate the various parameter present in water, like dissolved oxygen, biochemical oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand. So this particular container is known as DO bottle. Okay, this particular container is known as DO bottle. Now look at this instrument. This is known as volumetric flask. Volumetric flask means this is the capacity of 250 ml. Take a closer look. Here this particular container contain a meniscus. This meniscus actually means if you pour solution inside this container and you maintain a volume up to this level, that means it contains exactly 250 ml. If you fill water or if you fill solution exactly up to this level, that means the solution volume will be exactly 250 ml. Okay. Normally this volumetric flask is used during the preparation of any solution. Okay. So almost done, and these are the reagent bottles we need to use. This is transparent and this is amber color bottle. Normally all types of photosensitive solution is kept inside the amber color bottle. And take a closer look of the reagent bag. Here we have prepared different types of solutions. It may be primary standard, it may be secondary standard, and we will use this solution during our experimental section. One thing I must show you, that we have one indicator. In my theory class, I have told you that indicator is very crucial chemical used in chemistry lab. Indicator actually denoting color during the acidic or basic medium of the solution. So we will check how indicator can show its color. Okay, look here, this is simple water. Okay, we are using this indicator to water. Just add one drop. Okay, wait. Just add, need to release the cap. Wait. Now just add one drop of phenolphthalein to water. Just one drop. Okay. Is there any color change? Obviously not. There is no color change. Okay. Now throw this solution. Okay. Then we will wash this beaker and again take some amount of acid solution. Okay, I have told you that phenolphthalein can show different color in different medium. Again, you add just a drop. Is there any color change? No. Okay. Again wash it. Again wash the beaker. Okay. And take one basic solution. Basic solution, here we have sodium hydroxide. So we have added sodium hydroxide. Now you add just a drop. What? Look at the color change. That means phenolphthalein can show its color only in basic medium and it is pink. So in neutral medium phenolphthalein colorless, in acidic medium colorless, and in basic medium it can show its pink color. So to detect any compound that if it is acid or base, this is very useful tool. You can check by adding 1 drop of phenolphthalein. If it is pink, that means your solution is base. If it is colorless, then it may be neutral or acid. Okay. Thank you for watching.